Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a foundation full in-depth review of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. I have been wanting to get around to this, but so many other fun, great video ideas have popped up, and I thought you guys would enjoy those a lot better. So I am now getting around to filming this. So I did get an influencer box a month or two ago, and I got these two great items, and I was a little skeptical about this brush. I'm like, this brush seems really small. It doesn't seem like it's going to get the job done. And actually I have used this and it really does work. And what I actually like to do is actually take a beauty blender and then just pat everything out after, just to make sure I didn't get any streaks or anything to that nature. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hydrate my face with this Watermelon Burst Hydrating Primer. And this smells really good, you guys. It smells like watermelons, like legit. Okay. And I actually really like wearing just this on my face without any foundation. It just makes it feel really refreshed. Whew, I can already feel it working, you guys. Alright, so it is a pump action, if you guys are wondering. Definitely pump action. And all I'm going to do is just squirt it on my brush. Alright, so I do want to show you guys a little bit of what it would look like before I actually go in and buff it out and smooth it around a lot. So one thing is, I don't like to bring my foundation all the way into my neck. I just go in about right here and then I stop, just for the simple fact because I don't like the feeling of foundation on my neck. It's just very weird to me. So one thing I do notice is this brush does do its job, but I just like to make sure that everything is flawless and you can't really see anything. One thing I do notice is, and today I'm reviewing this with the primer. So one thing I am noticing is with just 2 dots up here, 2 dots here, 2 dots here, and a little bit right here, does not give you a lot of full coverage at all, because I am still seeing like a lot of my red blemishes poking through, especially right here. A lot right here, because that's where I'm really red at most of the time. I do see some blemishes, like I do see some redness right here. I do have a pimple right here, so it's not completely hiding it, but it's not like visible, like bam in your face type of deal. One thing I do notice about this foundation, and it has happened to me more than once because I have tried it more than once, is if you are older and you do have wrinkles around your eyes, crow's feet, anything to that nature, I do notice that the foundation does not set correctly in your wrinkles, like as upon to right here. it looks really horrifying. Like, it definitely brings out your wrinkles, especially around your eyes. Like I said, that's just for people who have wrinkles and stuff around their eyes. So now I'm just going to go in with a moist beauty blender, and then I'm going to tap everything out just to make sure that the brush didn't leave any streaking or anything to that nature. Alright, so as I notice that I'm buffing, it is sort of taking my foundation off. Like I said, a lot of red blemishes is still coming through right here. One thing I did notice is that it is settling. I noticed that it is bringing out my dry skin on my nose, especially the tip of it. So this is day 1 with primer. I am going to go in the next day and I'm going to try this without primer and see how it does. I am going to finish getting ready, let it set a little bit, and then I will be right back just to give you my view of what it looks like as it's settling, as I'm putting the rest of my makeup on. And I'm back with my face all done up, you guys. So as I'm seeing, as I was putting some bronzer on my face to like make myself look alive, I was looking around and I'm really seeing it oxidizing on my nose. Really, really bad. A little bit on my forehead. And since I do have a little bit of bronzer on my face, I do notice that it's not showing my wrinkles as bad, except for about right here. But hey, I'm 32 years old. My bad. So yeah, you guys, that is day 1 of my review of with this foundation with primer, and I will be back tomorrow with the foundation without primer, and let's see if it goes good or bad. Hey everybody, so we're back with day 2. In reality, it's been several days. We are going to go in and do our second day of reviewing this, and what I want to do is I want to go in with absolutely no primer on my face. The first time I did was primer, and I still was getting like some things that weren't really satisfying me, and then I'm going to go in with some powder to set it to see if that makes a little bit of a difference without primer. So with all other ado, let me... So today I think I'm going to skip the beauty blender part and just see exactly what the foundation and this brush does with absolutely no primer whatsoever on my face. And I will be back in a minute. I'm going to get my brows and we'll be right back. Alright you guys, so I let it set for a little bit. Sorry about that. I am noticing, like, it does seem to be a lot better without applying my beauty blender. I don't know if my beauty blender was ripping some of the product off and keeping it on the face. I don't really know, but it seems like laying a lot better without me using my beauty blender. Now, I still see, if you have dry skin, I don't think I would recommend this foundation because I do have dry skin and I can see it, like, I don't even know what you would call this. I guess like separating, or I don't know. I'll have to look it up and I'll write it right here. And it is doing it really, really bad, especially like around right here. It is like, that looks really horrifying. I'm gonna come in a little bit. Horrifying. It's like separating all right here around my nose area. It's bringing out my dry skin and it's separating right here really bad. Still brings out, it does hide your blemishes. I do have a pimple right here. You can still kind of tell that there is a pimple, so it's not like 100% covered. But it looks horrifying, you guys. Like, it's separating so bad right here, especially around my nose and right between my eyebrows. Alright, so let's see what this stuff does when you add some powder to it. Let's see if it helps it a little bit, if it does anything, if it saves anything. So I'm just going in with a Jeffree Star brush, which I'm just going to go in with this bad boy because it's old, it's broken in, and girl, let's see if Jeffree Star can save this foundation. I'm not going in with a whole lot because his I got a powder that was a little too bright for me. So now that I have an even layer of powder on my face, I am going to, oh God, no. The powder is making it so worse right here. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys can see this, but since I applied the powder, I was going to go in with some more powder to kind of like help around here, but girl, no, good night. So I don't know if you can see, but it is starting, like it's pulling it out. Like it's starting to like have little white flakes. Like I am extremely dry around my nose. Holy no. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it as is with just the one thing of powder. I'm gonna film a get ready with me and I'll be back to do my final results and thought of this foundation to let it set and really oxidize into my pores and into my skin, and we'll be back, you guys. So as you guys can see, I have filmed a get ready with me and I kind of want to keep it. But anyways, my final thoughts for the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation, you guys. I do like how without the beauty blender on top of the brush, because it did come with a brush, and so I do like how it's just the brush. It doesn't leave any streakiness with the brush that I do notice. One thing is, I don't know if it's just my skin, but my skin is making it separate really bad around my nose area and right here in between my eyebrows. I do have dry skin, so I do see where it is like pulling out the dry skin. It's not like pulling it out, but it's making it very like noticeable. Like if you weren't looking at me like far away, you wouldn't be able to tell, but if you were like all up in my face, then you would be able to tell that I have some dry skin going on in my face. I do like the coverage of it. It's not one of the best coverage, and it's not matte, which I am trying to stay away from matte foundations because I feel like matte foundations, if you have dry skin, it will bring every freaking flaw out on your face. So I am glad to be using something like this that's not matte. So I do like the fact of that. And then it is not full coverage, which I do like, because when you do go to add like your bronzing, your highlighting, everything to that nature, then it would just be like, hey, your face looks a lot more natural instead of having like the cake face that a matte foundation can leave behind on top of like your bronzing, and it just looks so horrifying. So yeah, I would definitely probably have to say, like, if you have oily skin, this probably would be great for you. If you have dry skin, you might have to work with it. Definitely I do recommend using a primer with this, because it seems like with the primer it did help it a little bit, not be so like pulling and separating everything out. Probably because it was giving my skin some moisture as I was applying the foundation. As of right now, my skin is going so yeah, definitely recommend a primer with this bad boy. If you do have dry skin, you might have to work with it a little bit to your preference to make it work to your satisfaction. Overall, it is a really good foundation. Like I said, it's not 100% full coverage, so if you're looking for a full coverage foundation, then this wouldn't be it. But I just like how it leaves like more of a natural look to my face with this foundation, with the bronzer and the highlighting and all that great stuff. So would I recommend this to somebody? I would recommend it because it is kind of like a high-end foundation. I think it is $38 on Ulta, Sephora. You can get this at, and so for like $30–40 for a foundation, I definitely would say that is a very good product for $40. I definitely would do a lot more than a drugstore foundation, so keep that in mind. It doesn't have a scent. That's one thing I hate about drugstore foundation, is the scents that it leaves behind, and then when your oils start mixing with it, you can kind of smell it through the day. So this one does not have a scent, and when it does mix with your oils on your skin, because I did review it the other day, it does not leave a nasty scent on your face, which I can't stand. And yeah, so I'd probably give this a 6 out of 10, just for the simple fact, because one, it's not 100% full coverage, which is okay. Like I said, when I do go in with my bronzing and mix everything, it leaves it looking really nice. And it definitely separates right here really bad, but that could just be my skin. You could come along, buy it, and bam, it works wonderful for you. It doesn't separate, it doesn't do anything to that nature. You do also have to take, in fact, I am 32 years old, so that could maybe have a little bit of a role play in it. I don't have young, fresh skin like I did in my 20s. So yeah, that's something else you might want to take in consideration. And also, if you're ever going to get your foundation, always get it fitted by like Ulta, Sephora, just to make sure. This, I have no idea if it's really blending well with my face. It seems to be, but you never know till you hit that natural lighting, and then you're like, bitch, what are you wearing? So yeah, you guys, I would definitely give this a 6 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this little chop down to the pinpoint, I don't even know what I said right there, and review on this foundation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed filming this foundation review, and as always, you guys, I upload every 3 days due to working purposes, and I'll see you soon in my next video. You're beautiful. Stay true to yourself. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Don't change for nobody. Be you. Stay you. And the right people will come along into your path. So yeah, you guys, see you soon in my next video. See you guys.